مرحبا أنا اسمي Minaa. I'm 20 years old and I run the Instagram page Life by M00.
Don't you mean life by moo?
Life by moo. Yeah. So I was born here, obviously in Bradford, BRI, and when I hit 4 years old, my parents decided to move to Saudi Arabia when my dad got a job, and I grew up in an American system school, so it was very, very different to what people here studied. It was definitely a bit difficult to adjust and to become comfortable in that environment, but I am very grateful for those experiences. It's taught me a lot about culture and diversity, and my friends were from all over the world, and I think it definitely opened up my mind to a lot of things.
You moved back to the UK when you were 18, right?
Yes.
So tell me 5 things that's different between British life and Saudi life.
Okay, so first of all, I can actually get dressed here and go out whenever I want. In Saudi you have to wear abayas. It's a very conservative country but also very beautiful. Please don't promote me. So, I think a lot of people have negative perceptions about Saudi Arabia because of the way the media portrays it, but the reality of living here is so much more different to what we see on TV and on the internet. It genuinely is such an open and diverse and accepting community, and of course it is slightly more strict and not like the UK because this is a Muslim country, but in terms of openness and acceptance and, you know, being welcoming, I think the country really goes above and beyond for foreigners sometimes, and that is something that I definitely do see. I grew up here and it has been a home for me, and it always will be a place that I call home, even though I was never born here, I'm not even from here, but I just love the way people are here, and I love the life that is available to people here. I think the main negative perception is lack of freedom and lack of freedom for women, and that's just very, very untrue. Women have a lot of freedoms in Saudi Arabia. You know, you're allowed to go out whenever you want, you're allowed to go out pretty much wherever you want. Abayas are no longer mandatory, they're more of a choice than anything. And there's just so many different laws that are constantly evolving, and like the world evolves, you know, the country evolves with it, and they are constantly trying to better their systems, whether it's legal, whether it's cultural systems, whatever it is, they're always trying to better it, and I think that's something that they don't get enough credit for. I feel like they always move forward instead of backwards. Education is a bit strange, and it's a new concept to me. It's something I didn't even know existed. The way the healthcare system works is definitely very different to what I'm used to. Getting a doctor's appointment takes 6 months here, whereas in Saudi it takes about half an hour.
British food or Saudi food?
Definitely Saudi food. I think the fact that not everything is halal here is very, very frustrating. I would love to be able to go into McDonald's and order a beef burger. I'd love to go into McDonald's. I would definitely love to go into McDonald's and order a beef burger here, but obviously I can't because it's not halal.
Which place is the better coffee?
In Saudi I did spend a lot of my time getting coffee from abroad, and it was rarely ever from Saudi, and I think the very similar goes here. I usually don't get something that's made here, I get it something that's made outside.
What do you mean by that?
So usually, for example, my coffee machine is Italian, so
oh,
my coffee is
fancy.
an Italian company. Yeah, I'm really fancy. Also, the biggest difference is that I really have benefited from moving here is the use of public transportation and actually having the ability to move yourself around without having to rely on someone else. Being able to take the bus, the train, none of that stuff exists in Saudi, and I was purely relying on my family and their ability to take me from one place to another.
What's your favourite thing about leaving Saudi?
The fact that I'm able to work a job here and make my own living instead of relying on anyone else.
So being more independent?
I think the independence is a big plus.
Do you think that's changed you as a person?
Definitely. I think it's helped me grow, and it's sort of made my personality the way that it is.
What's your favourite thing about living in the UK?
Is that your question?
Excuse me, you met me.
I mean, that's great as well.
Tell me you don't like anything about living here.
No, I think my favourite thing here is, not gonna lie, some of the food here, some of the snacks. This is definitely sponsored by the takeaway near my house. If you're watching.
Right, what's your least favourite thing about UK life, British life?
I think the way that there's barely any nightlife for people who don't like to do things like clubbing.
I agree with that. That's why I feel like a lot of British Muslims who go on holiday to Muslim countries appreciate nightlife, because there's so much you can do, and like even in Pakistan, shopping centres are open till like 1 a.m. and here the only thing that's open till 1 a.m. are like pubs and clubs, and we don't do damn things.
I think the ability to do things after 7 p.m. is definitely a big blessing that I took for granted, and I wish it existed here for British Muslims.
Would you prefer staying here, or would you want to work back in Saudi?
Personally, I would like to stay here because I would definitely like to work here and start up something of my own here, potentially in the future, that relates to my career path. So whether that's starting up my own law firm or working in a law firm, you have to dream big, guys.
Yes, girl. What's it like moving away from home? That's the question. The question.
If you are on Life by M and if you follow me, I covered this in one of my posts.
Oh, really?
I can talk about it too. So I think it definitely is probably one of the most difficult things that I've done in my entire 20 years of existence. But it's also the one thing that I will never regret doing. I've definitely picked up so much more independence, being able to work and earn my own money and just work hard for the things that I want has definitely been a blessing that I, did not have the chance to do as much of in Saudi. However, I'm someone who's very family oriented, so it was definitely really difficult having to move away from my family home where I lived, most of my life, obviously, and just knowing that once you leave for university, going back home is never just going to be the same. You're always going to be a visitor at that point, and not really, it's not going to be your home. But after time, it definitely is something you can get used to, and it does get better.
Do you feel like you're at better terms with it compared to like when 2 years ago when you first moved?
I definitely feel like now I'm used to it. It's definitely something, specifically with COVID and the pandemic, I haven't seen my mum in 9 months. If this was me 2 years ago, I don't think I would have ever survived 9 months without seeing my family. Whereas now it's been 9 months. Obviously it's been really, really difficult, but I have survived and I have made it through somehow. So I definitely think that's another blessing. It's built my character and it's made me yet again even more independent, where I don't feel like I need to go home, but definitely do want to go home as soon as possible. So I think my experience as well was studying abroad. Unlike a lot of other international students, I got lucky not having to live in a dorm room. The reason for that being is my brothers live here and they live in my dad's house, and so I just came and moved in straight here. I think living with 2 boys is definitely
a challenge.
Interesting concept. I think they're gonna watch this and be like, oh, what is she gonna say? Living with 2 boys is definitely different to living with a mum and a dad. Although it just feels like I just have 2 dads. Well, the responsible dad and irresponsible dad as well. But at the end of the day, it's also something that a lot of people actually want to do. A lot of people have always said to me, oh my god, you're so lucky that you live with your brothers. So I definitely do feel very blessed because we do have a really nice time, thank God.
My last question for you today is, do you have any tips for anyone moving away from home?
Honestly, do it. It will be the most difficult but the greatest decision that you make. Not only is it because of the independence that comes with it, but it's the experiences that come with it that you don't get to experience when you live at home. So if you have the opportunity, I 100% recommend to take it. And if anyone needs support, head over to Life by Moo and I'm more than happy to give you some advice on how I coped personally with all of it and help you out in any way that I can.
Perfecto, and thank you for your time today, Minaa.
Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time and effort.
Is that your ride?
That was, yeah. No, no. Hello, who are you? What are you doing?
No, I'm not telling you to say that.
You wanted to answer that.
Yes.
Hi, today's video is sponsored by Oreo.
Do that. Sorry, Summer.